Alright, this video we're going to be talking about con artists, false prophets, and things of that nature. So when we talk about con artists, they are selling confidence. This means that usually that the product they're selling is neither good nor is it usually worth the price that it cost. They're just selling you the confidence that they have in themselves, which the person buys into their confidence and they buy it. So that's essentially what happens there with con artists. Sometimes a person gets scammed into thinking they're going to get one thing because they get convinced of the person's confidence and they get tricked and they get scammed. And let's talk about cult leaders. Cult leaders, people have this misconception that cult leaders are 100% evil. They're evil all the time. And this is just simply not true. Cult leaders have to provide some type of value of some kind for the followers to want to follow. There is a reason why people are following the cult leader, because the cult leader is providing some type of benefit, whether it be information, whether it be through community, whether it be through some type of emotional support. Now, the issue with cult leaders and people like this is that they're really trying to benefit themselves the most by giving you a little something that you want while taking more out of you than you're getting. And essentially the followers get tricked into whatever the cult leader is selling. So some cult leaders, like they have these weird belief systems that they get a bunch of people to follow, and if sometimes the followers, they pay the cult leader a lot of money because they really believe in the vision, they believe in the mission. And some people drop their own lives for the cult leader's mission because they really believe in the cult leader. This is somewhat like a con artist. Now, the thing is, with these type of people, it can be a little confusing because it's a little tricky to assess them. Because they're not always bad. They gotta do some level of good. Some level of bad is mixed with the good, so this way they can trick you to, get you close enough to buy into what they're offering. Otherwise, if they're just so blatantly evil, no one's gonna be a part of that. But cult leaders are confusing because some of them might genuinely believe in their own BS. They might genuinely believe in their belief system. So, you know, unconsciously they're selling this idea or this promise, this vision, this mission, but they're not doing it to negatively impact the people that are there. Obviously, they're trying to benefit from this, and I'm assuming let's just assume they have some type of positive intention. They gotta have some type of positive intention. Um, but usually these type of people want fame. They want to be worshipped. They want admiration. They want the feeling of being powerful, uh, being the leader. And a lot of these emotions are really just kind of sensations, which is I find very peculiar and very strange because you're doing all of these different kind of tactics and weird kind of strategies to just feel a certain way when it's you don't really need to do all that just to feel, just to get those little quick emotional spikes, because those emotional spikes don't last very long. Like that sensation of feeling powerful maybe lasts like a minute, but living a lifestyle is 24/7. So whatever you are, whatever they're experiencing in that moment, it's very short lasting. And on this channel, I don't like to talk about good, like evil in versus good. I like to talk about virtues versus vices, morality, and what works and what doesn't work. I try to refrain from using evil and good when I can, because a lot of things is very open to our perception and is really our opinion of things. For one person, they have a certain preference and affinity to something. The other person might not like the same thing. For example, I might like vanilla ice cream, and this other person likes chocolate ice cream. And I hate chocolate ice cream. I like vanilla ice cream. That doesn't mean that chocolate ice cream is necessarily not tasteful. I just don't have the taste for it and I don't like it. That doesn't mean that this person is wrong for liking chocolate ice cream. So I try to avoid doing that sort of thing. So cult leaders, there's a lot of. I'm talking about this cult leaders and con artists and bullshit artists because there's a lot of this in today's time, especially with social media, because social media is creating a platform where people can sell a fantasy, a facade of who they are. Now this is 2022. People used to do catfishing and do this sort of thing like in 2000, like the early 2000s when the internet first came out. People used to do all this stuff. And then at some point we realized that people are lying and they're faking. And so we realized we could identify who who's lying and who's not. Then recently, people are doing it again, where they're lying about their lifestyle, they're showing off, they're being all flashy and glamorous. They look like they're partying, living it up, but when you go talk to them in real life, when you actually go see them and go meet them, you'll notice a big contrast, a big difference, and that's because reality will always be different than the fantasy. So social media sells an illusion. For marketing purposes, they have to obviously try to make themselves look good so people buy into what it is that they're doing. Obviously, they got to look good. But there's a degree where people are overselling themselves as something that they're not. And this becomes somewhat of a scam, somewhat of a ripoff, somewhat of a con. And this is damaging for people who are following, people who are buying into whatever it is that they're buying into. So I encourage people to learn from places that has your best interest in mind. Learn from people who care about you, who want to see you grow. This is a really important thing here. People who want to see you grow. If they're not helping you grow, I I question what value do they offer you in your life. There's a lot of people are one way, selfish, self-centered. So when the relationship goes one way, I'm out the door. And I encourage you too, because why are you in a relationship that is not a mutual beneficial relationship where you're getting your needs met as well? You're not someone's slave. You're not here to uh, babysit. You're not here to be a mother or daughter to someone, to a stranger. Now, if you're a parent, that's different. But you're not responsible for other people's life. So you should really, your number one priority should be yourself. Everyone's number one priority should be themselves. Me, you, everyone should be themselves. However, when we can trust certain people, we can let them have an impact in our life in some type of way. Okay? If we can trust them, and it's difficult to know sometimes who to trust and who not to trust. And people, we are all fallible to sin. We're all fallible to mistakes. We all are prone to mistakes. But you want to find people with outstanding character, people who are a reflection of what they teach, of what they preach. You want to avoid people who talk a certain game, who talk themselves up, and then when you see them in action, they do the opposite. And I'm talking about most of the time. I'm not talking about one time, two times, three times. because we all make mistakes. So there's nothing wrong with making mistakes, and I'm never gonna try to call someone out for making a mistake. It happens, but it's to become aware of these people that we are bringing into our lives, and do they have the best intention for us or not? Because otherwise, we gotta eliminate these people out of our system, because it becomes sort of an ecosystem. They feed you certain information. Their emotions distract you and move you a certain way. They manipulate you in a certain way. They convince you that you're not good enough. They convince you that there's something wrong with you. They convince you that you're broken in some type of way. So if they're not supporting you to grow, if they're not supporting you and your goals and your best interests, if they're not giving you something that you desire, then what good are they in your life? I'm not talking about you can't have friends. I'm not saying that you can't have friends or relationships. That's also part of what I'm saying too. Is that you can have fun, you can have friends, but they should be giving you some type of value. They should be offering you something where you feel like this person is worth my time. I feel like this relationship is worth my time. I consider myself, a pretty good, a good person, but I cannot, I refuse to waste my time on every single one. One, because I don't have the time for that, but two, because relationships can be very draining, and you really need to pick and choose which ones are the most valuable to you. And I really hate to say it like this, because I wish that we could live in a world where we live like a bunch of monkeys, where we just playing, having fun, living life, and doing what we gotta do without all that extra kind of ego attached to reality. So I I guess what I'm trying to say in this video is to try to have better discernment as to where you're getting your information from, what type of vibes you're getting from this person, because I'm seeing a lot of misleading, a lot of misinformation, a lot of kind of sort of trickery recently online. People are getting exposed. Amber Heard, different type of gurus, different type of leaders, different type of cult leaders. They all, try to sell their package in a certain way, and they don't really have your best interest in mind. They're just trying to make a quick buck, try to use you, abuse you, and then lose you, and then kick you out the door. You don't mean a damn thing. You're just a toy for them to use and entertain themselves with. That's all I got for you on this one. Let me know what you think about this. Let me know if you got a subject that you wish for me to talk about. Check me out on prosperityLifeHacks.com.